Hey there, it's me Burnett and welcome back to my channel for a Heyday Valley video. Now as you can see, this one here, this relates to the Madagascar Valley and that beautiful lemur decoration that we got. Now the valley itself is over and done with, the decoration's already in our storage, and if you're like me you would have collected that decoration from completing the valley. And I was very happy with this decoration because it really does capture the lemur in question that I'm going to be telling you about later on in this video. And I do like the fact that this decoration is also very ground-based. Now the valley itself is over and done with. There are more valleys and there are more decoration related to valleys, and I will cover those in other videos. But for this one it's all about Madagascar and the Lemurs of Madagascar. There's two aspects to this video for information, so do sit back and enjoy the rest of it. Now in relation to the decoration, I did like it. I like the fact that it is very ground-based as a lemur, which relates to this specific species of lemur, and I'm going to give you details on that in a moment. I like the fact that it does blend in very well with the actual sanctuary design. Now Madagascar itself is an island just off the coast of Africa. It's a beautiful place and lemurs are very important to the habitat of that island. In fact, this island is very important for lemurs around the world because this is their only natural habitat based location, and it's very, very special indeed. Now because it is a ground-based lemur for the decoration, I think it went very nicely within the sanctuary. And you can see down there I've got a lot of wild animals. So it's almost as though the zoos actually come to visit the island and the animals are there wandering around. Plus you've got travellers there for a nice little sanctuary and safari, exploring the island of Madagascar, taking photos and looking at the wildlife. Very much similar to the Madagascar movies, which I did enjoy. And if you haven't seen those ones, please do watch them later. When I actually watched those Madagascar movies and I saw all of those lemurs, I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. And I like the information that I actually got from the Madagascar movies website. So please do check that one later as well if you haven't already done so. Now in relation to Madagascar, you can see it there located just off to the side of Africa, so just below the equator and near the Tropic of Capricorn. Like I said, it's a very special island and it's split into specific key areas. Now as I mentioned the movie Madagascar earlier, and one of my favourite lemur characters was King Julian. Now his family has been the kings of the island for quite some time, and my second favourite character within the movie was Mort, who I did like as well. Now check out the link that I posted below this one just to give you more details. Now King Julian himself, just like the characters you saw in the decoration, are ring-tailed lemurs. Ring-tailed lemurs' backs are grey to rosy brown with grey limbs and dark grey heads and necks. They have white bellies, their faces are white with dark triangular eye patches and a black nose. And true to their name, ring-tailed lemurs' tails are ringed with 13 alternative black and white bands. And unlike most lemurs, ringtails spend 40% of their time on the ground, which is very much like the decoration that you've actually got as well. Now the average body mass for an adult male is 6 pounds. Females are usually smaller and their tails can be up to 2 feet long. So I wonder if the decoration is male or female. I don't actually know that answer. So have a look closely and let me know what you think, because there are 3 lemurs in the actual one itself. Now ring-tailed lemurs live in the southwestern part of Madagascar in the arid open areas and forests that are range depth, so very specific to my design I made earlier. Now their life expectancy is about 16 years, which isn't very long if you think about it, but also very long for the species itself, which is kind of cool. Now in relation to lemurs, they are very communicative, and there are 2 ways that I found very interesting for their communication, and one of those relates to the olfactory communication. And I didn't know that they actually pierce trees and leave scent markings with the glands on their wrist. I didn't know that they actually flick at their opponent, and it's kind of cool to actually learn this information. So do go and actually check the website out for more details as well, please. Now in relation to these lemurs, as they're moving throughout the forest and the ground, they keep the tails high as a kind of like guide, and it reminds me of the tour groups in Japan where I see the guide holding up the flag just for the fellow tourists to follow them around. So I can understand the concept behind the tails high. You've also got a lot of facial expressions, which I found really interesting as well. So the pouty face, I think, was one of my favourite ones. There's the bare teeth screaming face, so kind of cool as well. In relation to their children, okay, they have infant contact calls as well, like soft purrs, those cohesion calls, territorial calls, etc. And again, very interesting. And the actual lemurs themselves are very vocal primates. And the fact that they have quite a number of different calls to alert each other to potential danger or to to gather themselves together. It was very interesting to learn indeed. Now, as I was studying more about lemurs, I wanted to find out more details, and I actually found some other websites which I've linked later that give you a lot more information. For example, Madagascar is the only place lemurs naturally call home, which I didn't know this at the time, but I do now. It's located 250 miles off the east coast of Africa, as I showed you with the map earlier, and it's the 4th largest island in the world, which is new information for me, and the only habitat for wild lemurs in the world, which is very interesting to learn indeed. I know we might see lemurs in other locations like zoos, but the only natural habitat, cool. Number 2, there are over 100 species of lemur, which I didn't know, and they come in all shapes and sizes. There's estimated to be 112 species, and the smallest is the Madame Berthier's mouse lemur. It has an average body weight of 30 grams, which is very tiny. The largest is the Indri, weighs about 6 to 9.5 kilos, and then there are many others. Now, I've already given you some details on the lemur species earlier, so why not learn more by checking on the internet and find out more about different kinds of lemurs, because the information website links I give later really do give a lot of detail. Lemurs have a female dominant society, which I didn't know, considering King Mort was the leader, and then you think that it's more of a female dominant based society. So why was King Mort, or King Julian the leader? Why were there not a female leader controlling the pack itself? Maybe that's some interesting information we should ask the makers of Madagascar. In relation to the island itself, they are called the creators of the forest because lemurs are a bit of a seed dispenser. This means that they help to maintain the forest diversity, structure and dynamics through the movement of seeds, which is really, really interesting. So lemurs are definitely very important for their local habitat down there indeed. And many of the plants are important to the island and depend on lemurs for dispersal. Besides humans, lemurs are the only primates with blue eyes, which I found really interesting, and I never knew that. The actual decoration itself have different coloured eyes. There's like a yellow and there's an orange one down there. And it's a shame they didn't actually give us a blue-eyed one, because that would have been very, very cool indeed. And it would have been nice to actually see the eyes matching up with that blue colour. But then again, I did like the eyes within the decoration. Now, lemurs self-medicate, which I didn't know about, and they get high off millipedes, which is kind of cool as well. So let's all eat some millipedes and self-medicate. I think that's kind of good. So why have a pharmacy when you know what to do? Really interesting. I mean, really interesting learning about these animals. Now, some lemurs sing a cappella, which is interesting. Others communicate with stink. So, not sure which one I prefer. Is it the singing option? And I mentioned some of the actual ways that they do it earlier. And then others communicate with stinking. So I don't think I want to have lemurs squirting that smells at me though. But then again, the singing part could be kind of cool. Now, ring-tailed lemurs, as you mentioned earlier, do communicate and mark their territory in a unique way, which is why I wanted to cover those ones, because I found them to be the most interesting. But mixing your secretions from your wrist with your chest glands to mark your territory, and then lifting your tail to prepare for a stink fight against a rival. Could be an interesting battle. Right. Now, lemurs are the world's oldest living primate, which I didn't know. And their story begins over 70 million years ago, long before humans. Now, imagine if we'd been stuck on one island. I wonder how our society would have developed instead of progressing. Maybe if they'd actually progressed a little bit more around the world, maybe lemurs could have taken over. Yes, it would have been interesting. Lemurs are celebrated around the world at the end of October for the World Lemur Festival, which I found quite interesting as well, by the way. So please do go learn about that one. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of really cool information about lemurs, and like normal, I like to find out about the actual decoration within the game that we are given. Now, I will be covering some of the other decoration as well. I don't always get the information in time to release it before the valley comes out. I'm afraid these days is a little bit slow getting the details to me, so apologies for that. But I will be covering all of the other valley decoration at some stage, plus some of the recent ones as well. Now, if you are interested in helping to protect the lemurs, then why not check out some of the links that I've included in a moment. These lemurs are definitely a very important aspect of Madagascar life. They're important for the forest, and they're important for their actual species itself as well. So why not support the local people in protecting these as well? These are the links I mentioned. There's quite a few down there, so copy those, check those out, and then maybe comment down below the video once I've posted it on what you think about lemurs. Maybe watch the movie Madagascar, go to the Madagascar website, learn about some of the characters from within the actual movies, learn more about your favorite species, and tell me. Now, either way, that is the Madagascar Valley. It was fun to do. The decoration was the most important part for me, and I enjoyed talking about that one. Now, if you do enjoy my videos, please do subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the bell notification. I will see you in other live streams as well. If you would like to support me in-game when you make a purchase, please use code REDKNIGHT, both either in the Supercell store or in the in-game shop. Additionally, you can also choose your other favorite content creator if you didn't want to support myself, but please choose one person at least across any of the Supercell games. There's the circle for subscription. Click that button. It's free to do, and I will see you next time. But either way, bye now.